Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this very simple modern mansion. If you enjoyed this video, all I ask is that you please hit that like button, as it really does help me and the channel out very, very much. And of course, if you do make it to the end of the video and you make this entire thing, share the video with a friend. Sharing is caring. But without any further ado, let's get started. Now, before we begin, I want to tell you a few things about the build. First of all, we will require every single one of these materials that you can see in my hotbar and inventory right now to make the build. This is all we will be needing. The amounts of these materials will now appear on screen, telling you how much of each material you will roughly need to make the build. These are rough estimates, but they should be fairly close. And on top of all of those things, this is how much space you will require to make the build. A 27 block by a 23 block area. Don't feel as though you have to make this grid, although it will make it a lot easier to do so. So pause the video if necessary, make sure that you have all the stuff, make sure you've got enough of it, and make sure that you have enough room to build it, and then we can begin. So if you've made this grid in your world, you want to come all the way to the front left hand corner of it, count inwards towards the center diagonally by 1, and this is where we're starting things off. Place 4 grey concrete coming up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. And go right also by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then connect down to the ground. Take the entire row of grey concrete and extend it backwards by 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, and do the same with all of the other blocks in the row that connected down to the ground. Take the end of that row, specifically the top, and extend it to the right by a further 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and extend it down. I want you to take the block that hit the ground and place 3 white concrete going right. 1, 2, 3. Followed by a grey, 3 more white, 1, 2, 3. Then a grey. Then I want you to place behind that grey a white concrete, leave a gap of 1 white concrete, then place a grey concrete, 3 white, 1, 2, 3, then a grey concrete. Then, coming towards the right of the build, I want you to place 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, and then a grey. On top of that grey, place 3 more, 1, 2, 3, and then extend this row to the right by 1 row, and then extend it 3 rows towards you. 1, 2, 3, and you want to do that to every single one of those blocks, like this. And then I want you to take the end of this at the bottom, place 2 quartz stairs going right, 1, 2, and then place a grey concrete to the right of the stairs. Extend the grey concrete upwards by 1, 2, 3. Extend the whole row backwards by 3. 1, 2, free, and do the same with all of the other grey blocks that we've placed. I then want you to take the entire row and extend it outwards by 1 row, hitting the edge of your grid. Then we are going to take the top of the row and extend it backwards by 8 with the grey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're then going to connect down to the ground again. Now, looking back at our build, we are going to extend across the back of the build, starting from the top, by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then connect down. Take the block on the ground and place 3 white to the right. 1, 2, 3. And then a grey. 3 more white. 1, 2, 3. And a grey. 3 more white, 1, 2, 3, and a grey. And then I want you to place 8 grey going right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then, looking back on what we've made, coming back towards the front of the build, I want you to extend that 8th block forwards by a further 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like that. Then place 3 white. 1, 2, 3, and then a grey. 3 white. 1, 2, 3, then a grey. And then 3 glass. 1, 2, 3. Now, I realise that that is a lot, ladies and gentlemen, but if you take a look from the top, you should realise, hopefully, it's not that complicated. You know, it's a little bit tricky, I guess, but that's roughly about what we've made. That's about the floor plan for the lower part of the house. What I now want you to do is very, very simple. So, I want you to take the row of grey that we have all the way at the start here. You know, this row of grey, before we started placing all the white. I want you to place a row of grey concrete that extends from here, and it follows the same path that we have followed. Meaning, I want you to place a row of grey concrete that follows along just above all of what we've placed. In certain places you can't do it, like where we have the stairs here. In certain places we've already done it, like on the back here. But you can continue to extend this all the way across, and then eventually forwards, connecting to the front of our modern mansion. Very much like this. Now, once you have done that, we do have a lot of details to add. So let's focus on the front part here. I want you to extend all of the single grey concretes between all of the white concretes upwards to connect to the frame of the house. Like this. I want you to fill in this area of the front with glass pane. So this is the very first area that we made, starting at the front right corner, or the front left corner I should say, of the grid. Here. This area right here is actually an interesting area. It's kind of textured, so I want you to place layers of quartz slabs starting from half the way off the ground and half the way between each other. I want you to layer some quartz slabs coming all the way upwards. And behind this, we're also going to place some grey concrete. This is just to add a cool texture on the side of the house. It's basically something other than just having a window, you know? Speaking of windows, we have quite a few of them. On the front of the house, anywhere where we have the row of 3 white with the 2 gaps above them want to be filled in with glass. You should find several of these going around the house, specifically towards the right on the front, and there will also be quite a few on the back. Like this. Now, where we have these 2 single white concretes is the entrance, so we're going to be doubling up on the white concrete and placing a row of glass just above. leaving a 2-block gap to allow us access in the house. When it comes to the steps that we have here, I'm going to simply extend these steps upwards until the steps are high enough that we would be able to walk around on top of the frame if we were actually going to be walking around up there, which we aren't just yet. Like that. Now, moving around to the right, here is where things get a little bit trickier. It's definitely a lot different here. First, I want you to connect the right-hand side down together, like I want you to form a rectangular shape like this. I then want you to place a row of quartz slabs directly above the rectangular shape and below, just in the spaces like this, just above and below the space. I want you to place grey concrete between the left side like this. And I want you to turn this into a window by placing some grey concrete here in the left side. We're also going to be placing grey concrete here in the right side. And we will also want to extend the quartz slabs out of the back of the building by 1 row like this, so they're overhanging the back. And we're going to be placing grey concrete here like this, connecting these 2 corners together. You know what, I suppose that kind of like renders this row that we just placed a little bit irrelevant really, but that's what we want to have. And then on the back, you see this is the thing as well. I also want to take the bottom and connect this together to form a rectangular shape. And then we're going to extend the quartz slabs to the right like this, so that it is in line with the frame. And then we're going to place grey concrete here connecting the frame top to bottom. We're also going to place a row of grey concrete in the center like this. And then we're going to fill in the 2 rows with glass pane. And these are going to be 2 windows with window frames. This is basically just to break up all of the other windows, because we do have a lot of repeat windows. There's a reason that this build is quite simple. Now, continuing onwards, I want you to take the rows of grey concrete that we have here on the back, and I want you to extend them upwards to hit the frame. So, where you have these single grey concretes, extend them upwards to hit the frame like this. We're going to do the same thing on the right as well, just here, so that we do box in all of the windows. We're going to fill these in using glass pane, so filling in these 2 areas with glass pane like this. There we are. Then on the right side here is where we want to place some more quartz slab directly underneath and around all of the empty space that we have here. Coming round to the right side, we want to place quartz slab. As a matter of fact, it wants to come almost all the way to the right. I'm going to connect the grey concrete up here, just so that we kind of have like a frame of reference. And then we can place another row of quartz slab kind of like all the way up above all of this empty space like this. And it only wants to come as far as here. We're going to place grey concrete on the ends of the quartz slab, right in the corner as well, and on the opposite end, connecting it like together like this, so it's like a proper structure. I'm going to make windows by placing grey concrete inside of the corners 1 row in, so like here, also flip around to here as well. Similar to what we have on the opposite side. Again, you know, we have a lot of the same windows, hence why I've decided to vary it up a bit. I'm going to place glass pane in the lower halves of this particular part of the build, and also in the upper halves. I don't know why I said that as if we were going to do something different with the upper halves. With the lower half we're doing this, but the upper half we're doing the same. Now once you have done that, on this side of the build also I want you to connect the grey concretes upwards to hit the frame. This leaves 3 empty spaces, which we're going to fill in using glass pane. And of course the only glass pane that we do have is blue, so it is going to be blue. And in doing that, we will have actually completed a large amount of the bottom of the house. Later on, we will be adding more detail to the bottom of the house, but for now, I want to get the house made before we do anything else that's drastic. Okay, first things first, I want you to work your way all the way over to the very back corner of the house, the back left-hand corner specifically. On top of this corner block, I want you to place a row of 4 grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. Then I want you to take this row of grey concrete that divides the windows, and I want you to take this block and extend it up also by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect it backwards like this. I want you to take another row on the back of this build. I want you to take specifically this grey concrete block that is in line with the window box here, and I want you to take this grey concrete and extend it upwards also by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then extend that across, connecting to the corner like this. Now, we are going to have to do a couple more things. So on the front, I want you to take the top corner here on the front, and I want you to extend this across to the right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then down also by 3 actually. 1, 2, 3. And then take the top and extend it to the right again by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then extend it down by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then I want you to take that 4th block again and extend it backwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then down by 3. 1, 2, 3. And extend that 4th block to the right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then down by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to extend that 4th block again backwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And down by 3. 1, 2, 3. We're then going to take that 4th block again and extend it to the right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then down by 3. 1, 2, 3. Once more, take that 4th block and extend it to the right by 1, 2, 3, and 4. Extend it down by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then connect it there. So that is what we want to have so far. Okay, first, we're going to place a row of grey concrete that sits underneath this shape. So basically, like if we start here, just place a row of grey concrete that just sits underneath all of the grey concrete that we have placed. Like, it's just going to follow the shape that we have placed itself, the shape that we've placed, and we'll have something which should look like that. So you can see it's now a lot better connected down to the bottom. Now, what I also want you to do, and this is a little bit tricky, but I want you to place a row of grey concrete that goes around the outside of what we've just done. So basically just add a row of grey concrete just on the outside of this, so it's kind of just bolstering the shape a little bit. The only place that I don't want to actually place it is in front of this 3-row entrance right here, because this is actually going to be an entrance. So like this. And I also want you to turn this part that kind of sinks in a bit. This is actually going to be a corner. So I want you to connect the corners together like this. It should be fairly intuitive what you've got to do, just like this. I want you to turn it into a square. Quite simple. Then once you have done that, the reason that I have done that, by the way, there is a very good reason for this, is because I want to fill this in a little bit. So for instance, that square that we've just made, I want you to fill it in using grass. This is actually, there's going to be a tree here, it's going to be nice. And we'll make the tree a little bit later after we've added detail to this part of the house. I also want you to connect this left part here, I want you to kind of like section this off, like that. And then I want you to fill the top of this in using grey concrete, like this. I want you to place grass up the center of this, like this. And you should leave 2 blocks on the, you should have 2 blocks on the left and 2 blocks on the right. Because I want you to then place quartz slab around this, like so. I'm just going to place quartz slab all the way around it. And then poppies, or whatever flower it is you want to use, just inside there. Now, everywhere else up here, most places actually, not everywhere, I want you to then grab grass block, and I want you to place a strip of grass block all the way over on the right, next to the stairs. Place your grass, and then place poppies, or whatever flower, or hedge, or bush, or whatever it is you want to place. I'm then going to fill the rest of this in using quartz slab. So all of this is going to be filled in with quartz slab. I would even go as far as to fill in inside the house as well, using quartz slab as well. But in doing this, we will have a very cool walkway going around the top of the mansion. A very, very cool walkway. So we'll have something which should look exactly like this. That looks really good to me. And all I'm going to do is I'm just also going to fill in just the inside here using some quartz slabs as well. So I would also like to get this filled in using quartz slabs, and that is my flooring material. It doesn't have to be quartz slabs if you don't want it to be, but it just works quite well because it's not white concrete, it's not grey concrete. It's kind of a bit more white, a bit more vibrant, a bit. It stands out a little bit better than white concrete itself, and I like the slab, the tile sort of effect, like that you get with quartz slabs, because ever since concrete, you know, sometimes everything kind of just blends together. But that's what we want to have so far for the house. Now, once that has been done, we have a few more things to do. So, up here, there are only 2 interesting panels that are like different from all of the others. I shouldn't say interesting, but like they're different from the others. On the very right side here, we want to place white concrete in the left side and the right side of the panel with glass above them. So to make an entrance like that, basically, very similar to what we did just down below. And I'm also going to destroy the grey concrete in between and place a quartz slab. And the other interesting part is here where we have this. We're going to place a row of grey concrete coming up the middle, separating the area. We're then going to place quartz blocks left and right of the empty space like this, coming all the way up to the top. And this is just going to come all the way up to the top like this. I'm going to destroy the block in the center, replace it with a quartz slab. And what this is, very, very simply, it's where we have ladders. So I'm going to have a row of ladders just up here like that, and that will lead us from the second, or from the second floor really, the first floor, the top of the first floor, all the way up onto the third floor. I guess this is the second floor, right? This would be the second floor onto the third floor, right there. Okay, all of the others are very, very simple. So on the front of the build, I want you to place white concrete in between all of the grey concretes that we have at the base of the second story. So I want you to connect all of these parts together using white concrete like this in between all of the grey concretes. I'm going to grab the glass pane again because I wish I hadn't have chucked it away, and I'm going to place glass pane in between all of the empty spaces. So basically we're just going to completely fill in all of these areas like this using glass pane, and of course the upper ones as well, just like this, and also this one too where I very first started, to give us an effect which should look like that. Now as we come round to the back, we're going to want to do a very similar thing. So on the back of the house, it's very, very simple. Where you can see the rows of grey concrete on the lower part of the house, extend them upwards and connect them to the top part of the house, like this. And that also means here. And this big section here, we will actually want to manually add this because we don't have one below, but just split it in half. And you'll do a similar thing on the opposite side. So like we'll want to connect this upwards and then split this this part up the middle. So we'll end up with this. To which all we then want to do is place white concrete all the way around the base of it. And then we'll be placing glass pane, blue glass pane, filling in all of the remaining empty spaces. So that's all we're going to be doing for this particular part. There is a little bit more detail to add, however, once again, we'll be doing that once we progress a little bit more. Okay. That's been nice and easy. So once you have got that done, ladies and gents, we're now going to move on to the third and final floor. Grab the grey concrete and place a row of grey concrete coming up from the back left hand corner of the build. You're looking for 4 grey concretes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then extend that 4th grey concrete to the right by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then connect downwards and split up the middle like that. Now on the back side of this, we want to, it might be easier actually to take this grey concrete row right here, where we split up the windows. This row right here, you can see where it all lines up. Place 4 grey concrete coming up from this block. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then connect that block to the right, like that. And again, we're going to want to split this where we have the natural splits in the house, like that. Now, once you have done that, the next thing we're going to want to do is we want to take the top corner of this and we want to extend it forwards and connect it to the opposite corner on the left, like that. And then connect down the grey concrete in the corner, like this. I then want you to join the bottom together. So like the bottom of the shape that we've created, it's just a big rectangle. I want you to join it together in the roof, like that. So there you would join it together, and like here you would join it together, like that. And then on the side, you're going to want to place a row of grey concrete that like cuts it in half, like that, following the shape of the build. And on the front, you're going to want to have 2 of these cuts. So here and here, like this. Nice. Next thing we're going to want to do is fill the center of this in using some quartz slab. So we're going to completely fill in all of the empty space in the center with quartz slab here. And we're going to come all the way over to the right side. We're going to fill all of this in using quartz slab also, like that. And then we're going to fill the complete middle part of this in also using quartz slab as well. And there are a few details that we will be adding to the house once we have completed this. Okay, so now that you've created that area, we have 2 entrances. One is right in the middle on the front of the build, and it's the same entrance that we've built many times over. Place glass pane underneath the middle part of the top of the entrance, and then white concrete on the left and right. And on the right side, leading out onto this balcony, we want to have the same. So quartz pane. What am I talking about? Blue stained glass pane across the top with white concrete coming down to make 2 entrances. I'm also going to place some blue stained glass pane around the front entrance. Pretty much everywhere but where we would climb in is where I'm going to be placing some blue stained glass pane, like that. I'm also going to place white concrete in the bottoms of all of the windows. This is the same design over and over again. We're not getting fancy here, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we've got. Oh no, I destroyed the grey concrete. There we go. This is the design. It's very simple, very effective, looks really good, and it's just a really cool, fun, easy house to make. We're then going to place glass pane on top of all of the remaining white concretes. Every single one of them, like here, across the back, and we've got one on the right here as well, and just one left on the front. And then of course we've also got to fill in the tops of these as well, so we've just got to get all of these done. Just like that. Next, we're going to fill the top of this in with a material of choice. So I'd recommend white concrete, quartz block, grey concrete. I'd recommend maybe a roof garden. You could even use grass if you wanted to, or even glass block. Like glass block's not a bad material because obviously like it lets in natural light and stuff. But it depends what you want to use. You can use pretty much anything though, as you like. But I wanted to make it a bit different. Now, you might notice what is missing a little bit around the house. There is something missing and it does make a big difference, doesn't it? You might be noticing that we don't have quartz slabs in a few places. Let's start from the bottom of the build and let's work our way up. So, begin on the front left-hand corner of the build and place a row of quartz blocks coming up level with the row of grey concrete that started off from the build. And then take the top of that quartz block and place quartz slabs going around the top of the base of the lower part of the house. The quartz slabs are just going to go all the way around like this and connect to the staircase on the right. We're also going to have quartz slabs go all the way around, and I do want to confirm that it's actually all the way around. It is. I want quartz slabs to, beginning from the top of the ladders, go all the way around the second story of the house. So it'll go all the way around everywhere, and it will connect together nicely to the opposite side of the ladders as we eventually get there, like that. Makes such a difference. And then when it comes to the top of the build as well, we want to place a row of quartz slabs simply just going around the very top of this as well, just like that. And it looks so much better like this because it really puts a new shape on the build and it applies a nice bit of contrast. That looks so much better than it did before. I think that you guys will agree. I hope you guys do anyway. Okay, next we have a small tree to plant where we have this square of grass. So it's very simple to place this tree. Place about 3 birch wood, 1, 2, 3, and then place about 3 leaves, any leaves, no matter, 1, 2, 3. Extend the bottom outwards in every direction, like this. Such a simple tree and it looks great too. Every direction, just all the way around. Take the middle part and extend it forwards, left, right, and back. That is a very, very simple tree. The tree's actually a bit tall, isn't it? I might reduce the size of the tree. I might make it one, I'm going to make it one row shorter because I actually think it will look a bit cuter. But the principle is still the same. So 2 birch, and then I'm going to place 1, 2, 3, and then all the way around the bottom. So connecting together like this. Make the tree as high as you like, by the way. You could even bone meal one up. And then on top of that, you just take the middle and you extend it outwards in every single direction. Yeah, that looks a lot cuter. I like that a lot more. Okay, so now that that has been done, ladies and gents, I mean, what do we even have left to do? We've done so much. Well, we do have a lot of decoration to do on the outer part of the house right now. Okay? So what are we going to be doing first of all? So I am going to begin by taking the staircase that we have on the right side of the build, and I'm going to dig a double row from the staircase out towards the boundary of the grid, so where the grid is. If you haven't made the grid, dig it to the very end of the house where you place the quartz. And speaking of quartz, we're going to fill in this area here that we've just dug out using quartz slabs, like this. Like that. Then we're going to dig a double row of quartz slabs going immediately left of the staircase, hitting the house. And we're going to fill this in using quartz slabs as well. So if that makes sense, like immediately, as soon as you get to the staircase, double row, quartz slabs in the ground like that. We're then going to dig a double row coming out across the front of the house like this. And it's just going to stop here. So it's, you know, it's kind of a peculiar shape, this. But this is exactly what you're going to want to have. Something like that, okay? Now, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to place some, a little bit of grey concrete and stuff around this, just so that we can kind of get a gist of where we're going to be building this to. So let me give you a bit of an example, okay? Okay, so on the front of the house, just right of where we have all these slabs, kind of like making a cool pattern. So I want you to take this block specifically right at the bottom where we have all of the pattern quartz and place 4 grey concrete coming out from it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place a grey concrete going right. Then I want you to place 8 glass going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I want you to place 2 grey concrete, 1, 2, and then extend the grey concrete backwards and around the quartz path, moving through it. Place 2 more grey concrete, 1, 2, and then move backwards, connecting to the house. So that might seem a little bit tricky, but in all fairness, all we've done is that. I want you to then, once you've done that, I want you to dig a row in front of this double window here in this section that we've been working on, and I want you to place a row of grey concrete like this. And I want you to dig out this entire section here. So all of the grass inside of it, this entire section. Shuffle the quartz slabs towards the end of the house and place a row of quartz stairs coming down from the slabs. So what have we got here? Well, the house is designed to have an underground room, and that's all it is, a cellar basically. So all we have to do is just place enough quartz stairs coming downwards, and eventually all we have to do, we just place enough quartz stairs coming downwards and dig out the rest of the area as far down as you have to do it, so that we can have a room underneath the house. So it's very easy to do. I'm also going to dig out all this dirt as well. I'm going to replace that dirt using the grey concrete. And then somewhere inside here, you know, you want to be able to have a doorway, maybe even a double doorway perhaps. And underneath the house, that allows us to have a nice hidden away room. And that's all that is. And you're going to want to dig out all of the remaining grey concretes here. And also underneath all of the glass panes here as well. We're going to want to have grey concrete like all the way underneath here. And you get the point. So we want to dig out all this and we want to make it look nice and man-made and farmed. And you're probably wondering to yourself, TSMC, but what about the stupid ugly bedrock? Well, that's very simple. If you are on bedrock version, you can destroy said bedrock and then replace it using quartz slab. I have only learned this recently. I did not know you could do this until very, very recently. But you can actually like pop down underneath the world, which I think is absolutely mental. Yeah, I think that's crazy. I love it. There we go. And then obviously this would be hollowed out Not doing it in this tutorial because it's really up to you depending on what you want to do with the house. But underneath here, you would have a nice big hidden room with your stuff in it. That's basically all that is for. Now, I also want to take this area here on the left. I'm going to dig between these two areas and place grey concrete in between. Some glass pane on top. And then all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to plant some flowers. This is just a nice little flower bed area right there. Well, what else do I want to do? So, around here, I'm going to dig around this path here. And I'm going to place some grey concrete to kind of like outline the path. Basically just joining this front right hand corner together. As a matter of fact, I might even destroy these quartz slabs, I don't know. Here. And I'm going to place some jungle leaves up the side with some poppies. And again, poppies are my favourite flower, but you know, substitute it for whatever you like. So just around here. And this you could either have more poppies or you could have something else. In this corner I'm opting for some more greenery, so some more bushes, some poppies around it like that. And ladies and gentlemen, I mean, there's not really too much more for us to do with the house. You can see it's pretty much done at this point. The only thing that I'm actually wanting to do is just make a nice little lounging area, because we have earned a break, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I have a lounging area on the original version of this house. And it's all the way up the top here, and all it is, it's quartz stairs with quartz slabs in front, and it has a double end rod behind. And we have, we need something to hang it off, like a slab on top of the end rods, and then some grey banners all the way around this. And it's basically just a nice little lounging area, just hidden away up on top of the house. And that's all there is to this house, ladies and gents. Let me get rid of all of the writing and stuff, and then we can take a look at this thing. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is what your house will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. I hope this is what yours looks like as well. If you have enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And if you have made it this far in the video, please share it with a friend. Sharing is caring. Feel free to subscribe to the channel to make sure that you get all of my other videos sent directly to your sub box. I'm sure that you're going to be very interested in what I've been making on the channel recently. Click the little bell and that will further make sure that they do actually get sent there. And if you do have any more hankerings for some building, then check out the card system and the description below. I'd highly recommend the Modern Mansion playlist. You can actually see quite a few of them in the background. They're all in their own different little styles, but they all do kind of borrow from each other as well. We've got some very cool builds on the channel, and I do hope that you enjoy them a lot. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate you, every single one of you, so much. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye! Back to my secret lair.